Welcome to Bloody Good Horror.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong. It's basically, well, I was going to say 2 hours, but it's more like 45 minutes of a dinosaur punching a monkey and vice versa. And then science is basically the rest of it. We're going to get to that.
The dinosaur doesn't really punch. Like, his arms are too
he is
short.
true. He more like, he has like fire breath, laser fire breath.
A lot of tail.
A
Yeah,
lot of
he's
tail
more
action.
jazz hands than punch.
Yeah, yes, that's true. We're going to get to that in a little bit. First up, joining me from Maryland, please welcome John Schnars to the show.
Hi, Eric.
I really can't wait till I can just say New York City again, because I literally every week can barely remember where you are.
It's probably going to be summer. Just set your expectations. But
next up on the show.
Oh.
Yep. Next up on the show from Indiana,
Thanks.
please welcome Casey.
Hello.
From Richmond, Virginia, please welcome Caitlin.
Hello.
John, I requested Caitlin turn off her air conditioning before the show, just in case you thought that was just you.
Caitlin, how are you running the air conditioning? It's like
Because she lives in
60
Richmond, Virginia.
tops.
It was 82 today, Schnars.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
It
we
was
got
like
the
70
AC
years.
fired up here, and it's like 68.
Yeah, we hit 80.
I would kill
don't
to
care
just
about
be sweating.
The
right now.
environment, I guess.
Freezing.
Nope.
And
No.
last up tonight, I don't even know how to describe the look. This is, if anything, an ad for Patreon where you can get a live stream of the show. He's from Chicago. You wouldn't know that by looking at him right now, but please welcome Joe to the show.
I prefer Spicoli who fucks. Is like the look I'm going
Oh, you got
for.
the drug rug on and like this straw hat situation. Like, I just don't even know what kind of hat that is, and so I don't really know how to orient myself from
My
there.
new lawn mowing hat. Pretty fired up about it.
But I'm sure when you ordered it, it was not called lawnmower hat.
Yeah, like what I was curious too. Like, what,
I think
what is it?
bamboo hat is what
Bamboo.
it's classified as.
Got it. Okay. It's like a cross between Newman in Jurassic Park, the hat he wears, and like Raiden.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's
Cool.
That is pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Also, you're inside, so you don't really need that on right now, but that's neither here nor there, I
fine.
guess.
Yeah, but I'm in an outside state of mind there.
We're here tonight to talk about really the first big blockbuster, a summer blockbuster, I guess you'd call it, of 2021, but we all watched it in our homes, which is weird, and we can talk about that aspect of it as well.
Do we want to talk about how it quote unquote cleaned up at the box office?
Sure, let me
too?
tell. I know you
My
were
God.
very excited about this last week, John.
I just when I'm right about something, or when I at least was willing to raise it as a thing. Yeah, I mean, it did like 50 million. I think I saw over 5 days just in the U.S.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
John-
mean, that's
John's
like a
not
lot.
right, I
by
don't
these-
think
That's
so.
pretty good considering that's a lot of people willing to just go to a movie theater. That surprises me.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
Wow,
I learned-
Texas.
I've learned a lot of things in the last year and a half, John.
Was 48 of that in Texas, John?
Right.
Yeah,
And
Texas.
the
and
other
Florida,
two
right?
in Florida.
No, I'm
Yeah,
just
I'll give
going to
you a break.
assume it's everybody who's vaccinated except me, because that's how I'm starting to feel. Joe, please tell us what we are drinking tonight.
Beer guts.
Oh, Eric, beer guts. Today, we're recording this on Wednesday, April 7th, National Beer Day, which is a real thing. The day that Theodore Roosevelt, I believe he signed in pretty much repealing prohibition. Didn't actually go back until December 6th, I believe is the day, but this kicked it off, John. Last night would have been Brew Year's Eve. The people declared it. I'm probably explaining that wrong, but it doesn't matter, John. We're here to talk about beers that go with this beautiful Godzilla versus Kong. And the beer I picked, and I don't want to give too much away, but we'll get there. I picked a beer from the good folks at Knee Deep Brewing Company. They are all the way out at Auburn, California. That's out west. And the beer I picked of theirs is their Robots and Laser Beams.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this is an American IPA. It's classified as a West Coast IPA, which I think I've talked about ad nauseum probably on this show, but really kind of made famous by the good folks out at Sierra Nevada. Their pale ale kind of kicked off this whole craze of a West Coast IPAs, like super hop forward, a lot of like, pleasant bitterness is probably the way you describe it, but very piney, citrusy. This one they describe as having almost like a little bit of a blueberry flavor to it. But definitely sort of the IPAs that we saw being like super popular like 10, 15 years ago, like they were all just like super overhopped and they were like a version of these West Coast IPAs. So over time, they've kind of died out a bit because, people have gotten, sick of them or looked for other things like the hazy IPAs I've talked a lot about are kind of the big popular thing now. But I still enjoy a good West Coast, and a lot of breweries are still putting out great ones. Knee Deep Brewing being one of them. Comes in at 6.5% alcohol, so it's, it gets up there. It'll do you. If you're watching your entire city crumble around you, you may want to crack open a few of these.
No, it's cool. They evacuated the city in 25 seconds, so it was fine.
Tell that to the bridge full of cars. Kneedeepbrewing.com is their website, and check them out.
Love it. All right, guys, let's get right into it here. Let's take a quick break and discuss Godzilla versus Kong.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. From the prime time. Main feature.
John,
Eric.
were you intimidated by all the really smart people in this movie that just knew all this stuff without it being explained to them?
There is a
Sarsgaard just knows about the middle of the earth. He's never been there, but he's pretty sure. He actually, I'm pretty sure he says at one point, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Yeah. There is an efficiency in screenwriting where you just make all the characters super geniuses that can know everything, and it allows you to cut through.
Did that make you feel seen?
Yeah, no, I felt among my people for the first time in a while, so it was good.
Well, I'm glad. Tell me, John, what is this week's word of the day?
Eric, we're going to go on a little trip for this week's word. The word is plummet. That's Plummet. Plummet has a bunch of different meanings. There's one that I am specifically interested in. We're going to get there. So, plummet, fall or drop straight down at high speed. Relevant for this film. A lot of plummeting happening. Decrease rapidly in value or amount. Also plummet. The one I like here is the noun. So it can mean a steep and rapid fall or drop, but it can also be used to describe a plumb or plumb line. You know what a plumb line is?
Sure don't.
So plumb line is like, it's used in, I guess, like architecture or like art and design. Like if you need a straight line, you use it. If you're like building something, like a house, you're framing a house, you need a plumb line to do exactly. 90 degree.
Yes. I've built
what a
many
great
houses.
explanation,
So
John.
I'm doing it with my hand, which obviously helps a lot for the listener.
I remember this now from my house building days.
Yeah, exactly. The reason I landed on this is because I started some research around Hollow Earth as a concept. So Hollow Earth, I mean, I don't actually have the whole history of Hollow Earth, but in the 18th century, there was a specific experiment funded by the Royal Society called the Schiehallion experiment.
Schiehallion.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you knew this one, the Schiehallion. So this was an experiment that was set up to essentially disprove Hollow Earth as a theory, as a scientific theory, where they went to this place called Schiehallion, which is a mountain in Scotland, and they basically this had originally been set up by Newton, but they used a plumb line, and the mountain they could actually measure the density of the mountain relative to the Earth and sort of prove that the Earth had density and was not hollow.
I don't know what that
That's
means,
like
but...
the very.
Do you think the Hollow Earth people fight with the Flat Earth people? Because like only one of them could be right, dude.
Yeah, no. 100%.
Or do you think there's a person out there who's like, he believes in like he needs to believe in one of them, but he just can't figure it out. He's
Yeah, he
just
doesn't.
like, I
it's
know
like-
they're lying
yeah.
to me. I just don't know how yet.
Yeah, he's up for either one. He's kind of like, look, it's.
Comment?
I'll keep-
What'd you say?
I said Joe, care to comment?
Yeah, Joe looks 100% looks like somebody with a Flat Earth YouTube channel right now.
Well, it's a flat Earth or hollow Earth YouTube
Yeah.
channel. It
Yeah.
depends on sort of his food. So-
I mean, honestly, the way John's explaining it, I wasn't a flat earther, but I'm starting to become based
Flat
on his-
versus hollow, either way, you are being
you know,
lied to.
plumb. There's a plumb line, you plumb, and the one who plumbs, you know.
Plummet, Joe,
Plumber.
is the word.
It's like when my wife tries to explain wepa to me, which I don't know if you guys have ever heard, but like it's a thing that Puerto Rican will scream. It's like a Yahoo type thing, but like she's just like, you know, wepa. It's like wepa, and like that's John's explanation of plum.
Wow, Joe.
There you go. Plummet is the word.
I love it. That might be the best word of the day in quite some time.
Well, we started with hollow Earth. I could not come up with another
Yeah.
related word. So
Cool. I also like to picture like somebody at home watching this movie and being like, I knew it.
are there like this is we can have this
Yes.
like
John, yes.
you think there are real hollow Earth people?
John, are you serious with me right
Like,
now?
no,
That's
but
what
like-
the whole isn't
Have
that the
you-
whole Lizard Man
I
conspiracy?
know that your whole thing is that you're like blissfully aware of the seedy underbelly of the world,
No.
but you are not sitting there and telling me you don't think there are people out there right now that believe that the earth is hollow.
I mean, look, I'm not surprised if there are people who believe that the Earth is hollow, but like flat Earth, I feel like has had like a moment. Like there's been like a lot more sort
There-
of like discussion
Maybe
and
this
awareness
is the,
around it.
the hollow earth moment, John.
Yeah, man, you're right. That's true.
Maybe
Let's do
Adam.
the next big thing.
Maybe
Well,
Adam.
the Hollow Earthers are going to go advertise it because they don't want to look silly like the Flat Earth.
Maybe Adam Wingard's just a you know,
It's a Trojan
master,
horse.
yeah, exactly.
There's also a moon.
The what?
There's a hollow moon theory too.
Really?
You made
Yeah.
that up right now.
No,
mess
no.
with-
Do giant monkeys live inside? Do they have throne rooms inside of the hollow moon too?
God, I hope so. Space monkeys.
Serious question. What is he the king of? There's nothing. It's just trees and like mountains.
Hollow Earth! He's king of Hollow Earth!
Who made the throne?
There was
though?
those
I
giant
don't-
lizards. and
I
those
I just
So-
like
stuff.
that. Like,
There's-
still after like 12 years, John still gets super like uncomfortable when a female tries to like give a little more information. 'cause you made that up. That's not a thing.
Look, do you want me to be distracted to Googling hollow moon for the next hour?
I have
I
so
think it-
many.
The show.
I have so many questions. I can't wait. Okay, guys. Oh, John, tell me about this movie, Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Kong. This I would propose that this sets the record for most plot in one movie that we're covering on this.
It's pretty
this year
impressive.
program.
Yeah.
So I guess the basic outline is that
Please explain.
Godzilla. So it's set. I think it's like 3 years after King of the Monsters.
5.
5. Okay, it was like not super long, but basically all the monsters have like gone into hibernation. Monarch is monitoring them and sort of like knows, I think, roughly where Godzilla is. He's like basically swimming around the ocean a lot.
Well, I don't know that they're
Um,
like Godzilla and Kong at this point are the only ones that are still really around, right? Because Godzilla just murdered the rest of them in Godzilla versus the
No,
Monsters,
isn't
right?
Rodan was still alive? I thought at the end.
Was it?
Of,
Yeah.
Well, you just
Most
saw
of
it,
them,
so-
because most of them bowed down to Godzilla at the end of King of
yeah, and they
Monsters.
went back to their like
Interesting. Okay, I
hibernation
don't remember that.
place.
Okay.
So yeah, basically Monarch is around and they're like monitoring the Titans. And
They have Kong
but
in
Godz-
like a in a straight up Hunger Games dome.
well, yeah. So but he's on Skull Island, but they've covered Skull Island with a dome.
Why? It's already
Because this is like
it's already
40 years after Skull
It's-
Island, the movie.
it's already an island. I don't understand that whole thing. You
Well, I
get
think
off of
my
it.
guess is they don't want other people because it's like
Well,
the
no, you know
future
what?
now,
They
and
say
they don't want
something.
other people to find Kong.
No, well, no, I thought they said something about like Godzilla can sense him, and so they're trying to like keep his vibes in the dome or something.
Yeah.
So
That's totally possible. They
Science.
do. We talked about it maybe last week a little bit, but in King of the Monsters they reference Kong a bunch of times, but it's like super offhanded. It's kind of like,
there's an
well,
off.
we've got,
Yeah. Go
we've
ahead.
got all these titans. One of them's on Skull Island. They never say it's Kong. They're just like,
Yeah.
You know they
I
really
think they
miss.
did.
I'm gonna go do my taxes. Can someone just give me a ring when John's done?
All right,
They
all
really
right.
miss. They really miss an
Eric has
opportunity.
interrupted
I don't
7
care.
times.
They really miss an opportunity to thread John C. Reilly through all these movies. Then they would be the greatest movies ever made.
All right. So Eric, give me 1 minute to try to get through.
Fine.
So Godzilla reawakens. He attacks a research facility in Pensacola, Florida, and because of that, they decide, okay, we got to go get Kong, and we're going to use Kong to journey into the Hollow Earth because Kong's a Titan, and like Titans came from Hollow Earth ? And therefore can lead the way in. Hollow Earth being a place that only exists theoretically. But is it Monarch or is it the new company Apex that had the technology? I think Apex is the one that
It's
had the
the new
technology to
company.
get to
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So they're going to go to Hollow Earth to get a quote unquote power source, I believe, some kind of like energy that was going to make Kong strong enough to then protect Earth from Godzilla. I mean, this is like somewhat spoilery. I don't know. Do we want to get to like what happens when they get out of Hollow Earth or?
Dear God, I don't think we have enough time.
Basically,
Joe.
they take Kong, they bring him to the Arctic ? Where
Yeah,
this
it was
where
the
this
Ant- it
like
was
hole
Antarctica.
is to test this theory because they think they think he will lead them to this energy source. And
Yeah,
because
I said all that part.
did you? And because Godzilla's been acting kind of out of turn, and he's now he's bad now. They're trying to find some way to fight back. That's the setup for the movie, and then the rest of it's like you could be here all night.
Yeah, all right. So we can stop there, I guess.
Should we hit record and do this for real now, or?
Oh, you just said that. I had a weird moment of panic where I wanted to make sure we were recording. Joe, what did you think?
Yeah, so I've been a big fan of Godzilla and the King Kong movies ever since I was a wee lad. We talked about it before the show, but there was a what year did you say, John? Like a 70s or maybe early
It
80s?
said 62 was the one.
Oh wow. Kong versus Godzilla, which is probably my favorite of the movies when I was a kid. Full disclosure, I know I said it like I could talk about it, but I really only remember like the ending. So I was pretty fired up for this. I've enjoyed the other ones. And overall, I think it delivered. This is saying a lot, but I think of the four. What is this? The fourth that we've watched. This one is definitely the most like sort of batshit. Like what's going on here? Like there's a lot of questions, and we talked about it over email. You can definitely kind of just like tune out and be like, this is a summer movie. Like it's here for fun. And I think a lot of this has to do with watching it at home versus in the theater. But like at a certain point, you're like, all right, well, what the fuck? But I mean, overall, it's definitely what you expect, right? There's probably a lot that could have been trimmed here, but you kind of know what you're walking into, and it delivers exactly that.
Casey.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed this and I loved it from beginning to end, but there are definitely problems. Like Joe said, it's kind of one of those things where for me, it's Godzilla versus Kong. It's giant monsters fighting each other. I'm excited. I'm just going to go along with it and enjoy myself. And I did, and it worked really well that way. But I do think that home release is weird because it was nice being able to watch at home, but it's also weird not seeing one of these without the fan reactions and stuff in the theaters. So it definitely felt weird getting that blockbuster experience. But I thought it felt that summer blockbuster niche really well for what it was. It was a spectacle. I love some of the fights and stuff that they had going on. And I was just like a kid in a candy store the whole way through.
Caitlin.
I have to agree with Casey and Joe. It's a very blockbustery cinematic movie. I remember when I saw one of the Hobbit movies on a date, and like the dwarves were jumping on barrels, rolling down the hills, and like hopping from barrel to barrel, and it was like super crazy. And my date like looked over at me and he was like, "Movies," and that's very much
What?
because it's like a movies. You know, they're like
When's
man.
the wedding? Huh?
Movies. Wow.
but that's how this feels like they're going to Hollow Earth. I watched this today, and in the email thread when I was getting ready, Schnarr said it has it all, and he was not lying. It has it all.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, I've been back and forth on whether this is I learned today because I was researching this a little bit. This is part of the Monsterverse, which I guess is like a whole cinematic universe that's being created. I mean, clearly this is the fourth film, but this was part of a broader plan. I guess. I mean, obviously I don't know. It sounds weird. Like obviously they planned to make all these movies that were connected to each other, but like it is coming together in a way very similar to like sort of the MCU playbook. I would say I struggle on whether this is my of the four. Like it is completely insane.
I would argue it's better than the first Godzilla movie, which was kind of a hot mess.
Well, yeah, and sure. I mean, but like I guess where I'm going is like this makes the least amount of sense of any of them. Like there are 12 different moments in this movie where it's just like, what in the fuck? Like what? Like you literally just have to be like, wow, all right.
It's
like,
one of the few movies where I wish I
sure.
was taking notes because I have so many things I want to talk about. And I'm sure I forgot some of them. Like
so-
because
it's
a lot of things just
so
fly
crazy.
at you. It's like having stuff blasted at your face, and then you just
This
can't
is-
catch it all.
Well, look, I mean, this is like, so it's directed by Adam Wingard, which like Adam Wingard's like a legit horror director, right? Like he's
He
done
did You're
lots of
Next. Yeah.
interesting stuff.
Kip's brother, right, John?
Yeah, yes.
First time Joe's made that joke.
I know, 100%.
But like it's a weirdly tight movie for as much plotted as it. Like this thing
Well, it's swift.
flies along.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like crackling. I mean, but all that being said, like it might have the highest volume of like what the fuck moments per minute of anything we've ever watched. So yeah, I liked it. I would totally agree that I almost might go see this again in theaters because this was the first time I've seen something at home, at least that I can remember in a while, where I was like, God, I really wish I was in a theater to see this. The sound, there are moments that are so clearly like if you were in there in a theater with like the scene where Kong is on the boat and Godzilla is like swimming up to him, like it was just so cinematic the way it was shot and laid out. And you know, look, I have like a decent home viewing setup, but it's not, you know, it's like a 50-inch TV. It's not anything like I would call a home theater.
Way to
you know,
brag
like,
about it, Schnars.
well, and like I don't
I'd
know,
call
but
it
like
a
I don't.
humble brag, but I wouldn't call it. A
I
humble
don't have
theater.
like a sound bar. Like I'm just using like the TV speakers. Like it's.
Ew.
I had
shit, yeah.
these headphones on, which is decent, but I do not have a 50-inch TV because
Do you live at a soup kitchen, John?
I'm a man of
What
the
is-
people.
So yeah, I don't know. I liked it, but it's also like what the fuck's going on most of the time.
Yeah, I enjoyed this movie a lot too, and it's definitely like it's an intangible thing that you can't really quantify, like what difference it makes seeing this at home versus in the theater as far as like your level of excitement. I think that it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed the action. I think that there's a couple of things that just like have stuck with me and I haven't been able to like forget about. And one of them is that I think this is the first movie in the series that hasn't surpassed the previous one. Like the first Godzilla movie was full of potential, but kind of a hot mess. Like Bryan Cranston was in it for 20 minutes. You're just like, what? None of it made sense. Kong Skull Island is amazing. And I think that was the point at which me personally, I was like, oh, this is like, has a ton of potential. Then King of the Monsters comes out and that movie kicks ass. Like that movie is so good. I think it does a really good job of balancing. Like this story is kind of insane and silly, but we're going to like give you just enough like internal logic and universe rules where like we're going to get you there. You know what I mean? And I was willing to go along with it. I feel like this movie just does not care. And I'm kind of like, I get the turning off your brain thing, but just I'm a person like I need you to tell me what the internal logic of this universe is, and I need you to like kind of act like you care about it. At some point, to me, the way in which the plot is given to you is like almost insulting, because like they say things not it's like I feel like they say things because they have to, not because they care. Like they're like, but then they say things that don't get followed, like make sense. Like this whole Hollow Earth thing. Okay, I really like the visual. It's really neat. They say crap like, Sarsgaard. First of all, they move heaven and earth. They have like aircraft carriers, all this money. They take Kong from his home, all because of this dude Sarsgaard, who's straight up just a conspiracy theorist. Goes like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Like he said, I wish I could wrote down what the line was, but he's like 85% sure that you can get there, that it's like possible.
I would follow Skarsgård.
Well, I
to the
get
middle.
it, but
Yeah,
but he's
I
very
mean,
like he's very ineffectual for a person that then immediately garners this much like tactical support. But then they're like, oh, it's like a 10,000 mile. We watch them, right? It's like they go through like a black hole warp zone thing. It's like Spaceballs, ludicrous speed style.
The craft that they use is like gravity defying.
It's like a
craft.
space
Like
thing.
it has like
Yeah.
these weird
But it's like
things.
this is very far. Okay, you're in the middle of the earth. Then later on in the movie, we see Godzilla use his eye lasers to blast a hole down to where they are, which it's kind of cool. I get it. Like I'm there. Then, and I swear to God, roll back the tape and check it. These two monsters make eye contact through the hole at 10,000 miles away. And I feel like it's a small thing, but John, to your point, there's like 12 of those. There's like microcosms movie where I'm just like, they don't care, and it kind of bugged me. Like, I am led to believe that humans to Kong are like the size of ants. Kong can
This is
straight
my-
up
okay, go ahead.
from like 100 yards away read a human's facial expression and like respond to them when they're like the tip of this pen to him. He has learned
they're
he has
bigger than
learned
that, though.
sign
Like,
language from a child who's like 3 feet tall. He is so tall, like I don't know why this particular part bugged me so much. Like he's straight up like making nonverbal communication with people that there's no way he could even see him. How old is he? He's
this
okay.
is-
He's an ape, John, which is basically a human.
there was
I have
so
glasses.
much conversation, and like my question was constantly like, how did he learn that word? Like, how
Yes.
did they teach him that word?
Yes.
He's
Well-
watching them. That's the thing. He's
There's
just there.
another
But there was,
moment-
like,
Oko the
So
gorilla.
there's this guy who's like a low level engineer. Somebody knew his name. He's like, I guess he's I've never seen this dude, but he befriends 11 from Stranger Things and this other kid. But their whole purpose of this whole movie is only to throw like exposition at you. Like that's really it. Also, her
only-
dad was weirdly flippant at the end of the movie when this grown man is like, "Hey, I'm friends with your daughter and her friend," and the dad was like, "Cool, what? Why are you guys hanging out?" Like, but like, there's a point in this movie where they walk into a room and they find the skull. We haven't even gotten to all this Mecha Godzilla stuff, which I love. Like, was one, not the explanation, but just okay, cool, Godzilla robot, love it. But they walk into a room and there is a skull in an empty room with just like gamer LEDs taped to it, like coming out of it. There isn't any indication of what this is, what it does. And this dude who over and over has described himself as basically an entry level engineer is like, oh, this is the bleep bloop interface to do bleep bloop. And you're like, what? Like what?
Well,
and
he
then,
stole the plans from the Apex place.
but that's just like it's a perfect example of the way exposition and plot is dealt with in the entire movie. And you cannot tell me the other movies did this stuff better. And I cannot accept that it has to be this convoluted to have a dinosaur punch an ape. Like, it doesn't have to be that complicated.
giant lizard, Aaron.
What's-
Sorry. Well, I
What's
mean,
funny-
really, he's kind of like a hybrid, Joe. I don't know.
I feel like and look, everything you're
I can't get over
on a
this
rant
stuff.
about is like very true and 100% I am in agreement with. You latched on to a lot of what I would call like the narrative issues, like, right? Like in the exposition, the way they handle, like you kind of skipped over the fact that I think in this movie, Kong is like 15 different sizes. Like when he's
Oh,
talking
yeah.
to the little girl, like the way he's shot, it looks like he's maybe like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 25 times her size. But then he's fighting Godzilla and he's as tall as a 70-story building. It's like, what
Well,
the
so
fuck
Adam Wingard
universe?
in the promotion for this movie basically was like, well, it's been a long time since Skull Island, so he's grown a lot. But like, they don't say that in the movie, dude. Like, he's
No,
just,
they
he-
100% do not explain that in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my
I will say
biggest,
the CG, amazing.
I've been saving my biggest like what the fuck gripe. I didn't want to like spoil it for everyone. Here's the thing, Hollow Earth. You want to present to me that Hollow Earth is like a place that like I don't know, could theoretically exist. Fine.
It's a state of mind, John.
What is the light source inside the Hollow Earth?
I had the
The
same.
magma.
It seemed to
Dude,
be some
it's
kind of
like sunlight in there
Yeah.
all the time.
So it
I
seemed-
told this to
magma.
Leslie today, and it ruined her day.
it seemed to be
John,
some
so-
kind of like fireball situation, but they don't really explain it. But it just looked like the sun straight up.
It looks like sun all the time. It's
I don't
complete
understand
insanity.
why there's mountains on the ceiling, basically.
Well,
Yeah.
because it truly is like that part. I was like kind of okay with. Like
Right,
you
but-
could be on the top or the bottom because gravity is pulling you both directions. But like, yeah, like what's the fucking light source? It's in the middle of the earth. Like there should be no light.
I also
But
like.
wouldn't
I
that be
also
the
like
molten
that.
core?
So I also like that the guy who's in charge of this company with the spaceships. This is like the most important thing. Okay, this is another thing. This is the most important thing this guy's ever done. He doesn't go on the trip. He's like, I sent
He
my
thinks it's
daughter
his
to like
daughter.
babysit. This woman they cast as his daughter is so out of her depth being in a movie where other people know how to act. It's unbelievable. Like
Well, they needed a hot girl.
she
you know?
is so
And
awful.
They delivered.
She
Caitlin.
is
was
so
gonna say,
awful.
Agree
then-
to disagree, Eric.
Okay, this is supposedly like an energy source, right? This is such
It was-
BS.
was for
They
me,
don't need
Eric.
to take a sample and bring it back. They just need to look at it with a robot and then beam like the data back up, and they're like, "Cool, now we can power Mechagodzilla." That's not how anything works. That's not how physics works, John.
Yeah,
Well,
it was like energy DNA or something. I was
It
so
was
unclear.
That no, what it is lazy BS screenwriting that doesn't make any sense.
Eric
uh,
also used the spaceship as a defibrillator for a giant ape. I mean,
Yeah, well,
that
I mean,
part
that's
was
right.
100%
Yeah, but you
tracks
saw
for me.
that one
That was,
coming,
I
yeah.
was down for that.
I was totally cool with that.
And like,
Yeah.
who built the throne? And like, I get it, he's King Kong, but like,
The
the
throne was a little
axe?
lackluster. Like it
What?
kind of
Yeah.
more just looked like a stoop.
Who
of
are his
sorts.
subjects? Like, did he just build a throne for him?
No, but
I did
so
like the
here,
way
I
he was
wasn't-
chilling in that throne. I will say that was pretty pimp.
Was it his throne or like was there? My takeaway was like
I was to
in the before
understand
times there
that
were like
was-
other Kongs that
Yeah,
lived down
that's
there.
what I took.
I think it was more of a curb that was
Well, John,
just happened to
It
be
would
there.
have been lovely if the movie explained any of that because he seemed real. He seemed real at home in that throne. Like he had been
Oh,
there
no,
before.
no, it's,
Yeah. You'd think they'd have like cave paintings or something at the very least, right?
well, they did have
See?
the hand.
I like that.
Yeah.
They had the hand, and then when they got to the like King Kong Atlantis. Wait, no, sorry, that was in the last movie. I got a little
Yeah.
confused. Shit. That's where they had like all the cave paintings.
You know
Now
what?
I'm just getting
Listen,
my MonsterVerse.
I enjoyed this movie while I was watching it. It's just like all these things have been stuck in my brain all week, and I cannot stop thinking about them.
They definitely
I-
like build up over time. Like,
Yeah. But for me, I was able to watch that and watch these. We had 3 good fight scenes between Godzilla and Kong that each lasted
Are
pretty
there
long.
3?
And I think there was 3. There was the ship, there was the first part in the city, and then the second half of the city, which was technically the same fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
After he
weird,
got
like
knocked out.
Kong. So I'm just trying to think back to Skull Island and what kind of, because in that one he's fighting a bunch of different monsters. He's just literally doing WWE moves. At one point in a sequence, he gives him
Yes.
like a Macho Man elbow drop. He drop kicks him, and then he gives him like a knee lift situation. And I'm like, I think that's the point at which I realized I think I like Godzilla fighting better than Kong fighting.
yeah,
It's more
Yeah.
intriguing.
Well,
hard,
you get
hard agree.
you get
Mm.
there are other fights that aren't those two fighting each other. You also have Kong fighting the like animals in the
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the Hollow Earth. It
Middle
turns out
Earth,
they're called
we can call
war
it.
bats, I think, or something
Yeah.
like that.
That's
But my point was, that's where my brain sticks coming out of this movie is that spectacle of the CGI fights. And they packed this movie full of it. Like you said, they're going rocket speed here and they're going straight into it, which is what I showed up for. So, like a lot of the plot holes and stuff, it's loosely connected. I can make it jump in my brain that it must be light because of the core, whatever. I don't care. Let's see some monkey fights. And I was pretty happy with that.
You sound like Brian Cox in Planet of the Apes. my
Yeah.
friend.
Furious George.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, to me, I lose a little bit of that watching it at home, right? Because this movie, 100%, I think, like, John originally said, was meant to be seen on a big screen. Like, Godzilla in general is meant to be seen on, like, a giant screen with, like, the sound blasting around you. So at home, you kind of sit there and you definitely are, like, a little more disconnected. and like picking apart like
Totally.
every ridiculous thing that's going on.
Yeah,
So
and I
it's,
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to say how much that influences it. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Because I'm sure, King of the Monsters I loved, but it was just equally as ridiculous, I'm sure. It was just
See,
the fact that I was like in a theater, like blown
it's
away.
a little bit.
by
I
what's
just
going
feel like this. I would disagree only because I feel like they felt like they needed this Hollow Earth stuff, and to get there, you just have to take such a bigger plot leap
Yeah.
than
Right.
than
Oh,
in the
yeah.
other movie. Because in the other movies, they just show up.
No,
Yeah.
the big thing with King of the Monsters, again, because I just saw it for the first time, there's like a fair bit of human narrative there, right?
Mhm.
Like you have Millie Bobby Brown is her name, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have what the hell was the woman who played her mom, Vera Farmiga, and then the coach from Friday Night Lights, Kyle something or other.
Coach Taylor.
Coach Taylor. Yeah, like you have, but like that narrative is really the core, like that family dynamic is the core of that King of the
Yeah.
Monsters. You don't have a corollary here. They give you Rebecca Hall and her sort of the deaf daughter, like adopted daughter, but like the deaf adopted daughter thing, it's really like only leveraged when they need it and sort of
Yeah.
Remember
inserted
when
the
Rebecca
plot.
Hall was
Well,
like
it's-
an Oscar-winning actress, John?
Well,
Oh, I mean,
really,
it's interesting
Rebecca
because
Hall
it's
didn't
like-
have that big a part either.
It's very much a King Kong movie, right? Like they definitely try and grasp on the emotional feel of him and this, little girl, which is fine. But I think if you're going to call a movie Godzilla versus Kong, like I kind of want a 50-50 split of like seeing the buildup here. And even at the end, right? Like, and I don't think I'm spoiling too much because I assume a lot of people have seen it by the time they're listening to this, but like we kind of don't even get that. Like they fight, but then at the end of the day, they're battling Mega Godzilla. So it's kind of like, what the fuck? Like, I wanted
Well-
to see like these two have it out.
I did
But
enjoy
that was
that
always
they.
going to be like it was
Yeah.
never going to be about
Of
them
course.
because like they're like the heroes of the MonsterVerse.
I
feel
guess,
that's-
Joe,
but, like-
if you want somebody to kill somebody else in a versus movie, go to the best versus movie ever made, Freddy versus Jason.
Well, I mean, and I kind of go back to what did you say, 1962 one, John? Like, there's a clear winner, and like it's definitely they have it out and they battle, and then shit
Well, but-
moves on. But
There's a clear winner here. Like again, without spoiling, like one of them needs to have their heart restarted by a fucking
yeah, but
gravity
John,
spaceship or whatever.
the winner is friendship at the end of this
True,
one.
true. Yeah, no, that's-
All right.
Well, and it goes back. I mean, like
I did like when they bowed to each other.
Yeah.
it was more like a what's up, like head nod. I liked that.
I did love. Was it Caitlin or maybe it was Alyssa? One of our listeners on Facebook posted. It was the poster for this, but in just like big bold type, it said "They will kiss," and like they 100% should have had like an open mouth kiss at the end of this, and then like gone their separate ways.
They were
Or at
screaming.
least a Budweiser commercial, right? Cheers to you, bud.
I will say
Sorry.
I could have done without the Millie Bobby Brown side plot. I liked the podcast.
Yes,
But I
100% agree.
Every time she was on screen, I was like,
The thing
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
it just never. It's like literally the same scene over and over and over for the whole movie. Like there's kind of
Yes.
no advancement in it. It's just
Yeah.
they move from place to place, give you information you need for the plot that they couldn't figure out any other way to give you, and then move on. Like there's no.
Yeah.
That's it.
100%.
But without
I li-
her and Kyle Chandler, you have nothing that ties this movie back to the other movies except
Oh.
Kong and Godzilla.
You wanna talk
which,
about
to
dumb
Joe's
shit,
point,
too.
And
might be
Monarch.
You want to talk about dumb shit too? Let's talk about them like half saving the day by pouring water on a computer console that they have no idea
Well,
what it does. And like that's
whiskey,
just the
Eric.
keyboard, dude. All that's gonna do is make it so you can't do it. That's not gonna just. And the thing
Hey,
instantly
But that
explodes.
chubby kid was a hacker.
That thing instantly explodes with fire. It's like,
Yeah.
really?
Like that's how they take down the
Really.
mainframe.
Yeah.
I did get a laugh though out of that kid after talking all of his smack leading up to that. The guy, the podcaster's like, why haven't you gotten in there yet? And he's like, I just pirate movies, man.
I think even those jokes would have landed better in a theater, just like to be in an
Yeah.
audience where the people around you kind of like, mumble with laughter. Even if it's like the podcaster had the best jokes, I feel like those were the ones that made me like, huh, but if I were in a theater,
He was good, but like even off the bat, I was like, so the whole plot is this guy works at what is it, Monarch or the other company or whatever.
He
like
works at
Apex.
Apex. Yeah, yeah.
he has such a distinguishable voice, and he has a fucking podcast
Yes.
ripping this company apart and trying to like rip, and it's
And
like
he doesn't he straight talk about working there at one point?
yes, and
Yeah.
like I mean, maybe not specifically saying like I work there, but he's saying like I'm gonna take it down today. I'm like, is anybody like fucking looked at their own employees?
Okay,
to maybe...
Joe, I
Yeah,
worked
I
at
think he talked on that.
Joe, I worked at a newsroom in a small town, and somebody there was writing like a gossip blog about the local news industry. They found that dude. I'm pretty sure that the Apex people would
Exactly.
check their IP addresses and figure out who's doing it.
And somebody with like Apex that's doing all that top secret building Mecha Godzilla with Ghidorah's skull in the basement, they're probably going to follow up on their employees, right?
There's a skull in the basement. No, it was like Monster Zero, wasn't it? Is that?
It
is
was
that
No,
the
well,
same
that
thing?
is Ghidorah.
It was
It
Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The three
That's
header
what they called
first one.
Ghidorah in the other
Same
movie.
thing.
Because the three heads communicated to each other telepathically,
Mhm.
and that's why they were using it to
With
pilot Mechagodzilla.
with Twitch streamer LED strands, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Exactly.
liquid cool.
So stupid.
That's just science, Eric. I don't know what you're getting upset about, but
I mean, should we talk? And
I
I,
liked
know
how
we're kind of
Mechagodzilla's hands
dragging on
spun
here, but
around. That's stupid and fun.
should we talk about the human body count in this? Because
Yeah.
at a certain point, Leslie's like, I don't think I can watch this anymore. Like, I can't watch these two fight and disconnect the fact that like thousands, if not like millions of people are dying.
Well, that's all these
Well,
movies to some
And
It's
extent.
every
all-
superhero movie too. Every Avengers movie.
There are a lot here, though. I mean, like entire
Yeah.
buildings at every turn. And I was talking to Jamie about it, and she was like, "There's just so many smushes." And I
Yeah.
was like, "There are."
Like they get
Yeah.
to Tokyo and like they immediately take down this giant bridge, which is full of
Hong Kong.
cars.
they're in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Hong Kong. No.
But like Eric was talking about with you compare that screenplay to this and King of Monsters, they did the same thing in King of Monsters,
Oh,
but
yeah.
they took 30 seconds to say, we've got 35 minutes and they've got the entire city evacuated before all the
Exactly.
shit happened.
There was an offhanded line about it in this one, but then
Was there?
later we do see people straight up being like theoretically crushed.
Even
mean,
if you
They
empty
destroyed
the entire
Boston
city
in the last movie.
like just think about the number of refugees that have been created. Like Hong
Oh, yeah.
Kong is like, I don't know, I
That-
didn't look,
that
but like
city is
15, 20
done.
million people.
Like-
Yeah, like uninhabitable for
Well, John,
basically
the
ever.
United
It's
States is a
done.
really welcoming place. I just assume we'd take them all in.
Yeah,
give 'em
no, true,
shelter.
true. They should like
What's
at some
funny?
point they're gonna need to follow up on like, yeah, well, it's been 5 years. Like Boston, kind of like
Yeah.
it's not a crater anymore, I guess, from the last film. I don't know.
Yeah. To be
Um,
fair, Colleen and I had the same thought during that big final battle. It's like, do you think either of these two have insurance?
Clean up. It'd be fun if there were just spin-off movies where it's like just completely separate from like the Godzilla stuff going on, and it's just people trying to like rebuild and get their shit back together.
Yeah.
It's like Sim City.
Yeah, it's like a TV show. Like,
There's been comic books like that in the past, not about Godzilla specifically, but with superheroes dealing with the same problem.
That sounds
The
fun.
real
So it would make a good show.
Joe,
What'd
What's
you say,
that? I'm
Caleb?
sorry.
the real refugees of Hong Kong.
Oh, there
Wow.
you go. I would watch that.
You would.
Where do we go from here, fellas?
There's
Should we
just a
talk about
lot.
the fucking axe?
Yeah, sure, dude.
Like, why?
I was down with
I'll
the
tell
axe.
you
I was
why.
fine with it.
Because Godzilla has electro fire, and King Kong is just an ape with fur. Like he needed
Yeah,
some kind of
he
weapon to
needs
even the
something,
playing
exactly.
field.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the whole weird
Godzilla's definitely a
charging-
lot more badass. Like, I think we
Yeah.
can all agree, right? Like, King Kong's a bit of a, fuckface.
No, I'm Team Kong for sure. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, my chest. Let's fucking.
I find
go.
it really funny
Yeah.
though how
Hi.
just like it's kind of similar to how like when they did CGI Yoda, like it really bothered people that it didn't look like there was just a hand in a puppet, and so when they did the later prequels, they actually instructed the animators to like blend it to actually make it look like there was a hand. Like there's a funny thing about Godzilla where because it was just originally dude in a suit, he just has these like stumpy, useless T-Rex arms,
Yeah.
and you just have to stay true to that. Like that, there's a really
Well, he's like a T-Rex. Like it's
Kind
that's
of,
what dinosaurs.
but
look
he's like
a
he's just
badass.
like a weird like immobile squat T-Rex. Like he's very
Yeah.
bottom heavy. Godzilla.
I feel like they've also. I think I noticed this maybe in King of the Monsters, but I feel like you see it. There's a couple of shots where the way they've like shaded the skin, it kind of has that like almost like rubber suity look.
Yeah.
A little
to
bit,
it.
yeah. And I kind of appreciate that.
I no, I totally agree.
I've always considered myself a Kong in the streets, Godzilla in the sheets, John.
What does that
You've
even
been saving
mean?
that, haven't you?
Is it because is it like a jalapeno thing with the fire breath? Is that what it is?
You know, it's funny. When Eric texted me about being on this show, I said, you know, I can't wait to disagree with Joe, and I'm so glad that we ended up.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Kong is definitely the more emotional one, right? Like you definitely attach to him as special in this. But like, if you're going straight up badass, you gotta go Godzilla.
It's
Can
like
we spend
it's pretty
like,
brutal too in the beginning watching them like, you know, they rip. Yeah, he's in a fake like stupid Hunger Games dome, but he seems pretty like chill there, and they straight up take him and like cuff him to like an aircraft carrier. But they try to
I mean,
they try to like excuse it though. They're like, well, he couldn't live there forever because Godzilla would find him, so he had like this is gonna be his home. Like,
no.
Why the
I
fuck
see
would
what you're trying to do,
he's
but
also like throwing spears at the roof pretty regularly to try to like
yeah,
break
but
that thing
like.
down, so.
I would say that's still better than being straight up chained to an aircraft carrier, taken to the Arctic, where like he
He would have frozen to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Dude,
yeah, I know.
he
totally.
looked
He ate
cold. It made
clean.
me cold to watch it. Monkey ate clean.
Hold
is
on.
that what you said?
But there's a couple like I don't want to know. We don't need to go too far down this, but like for 2 minutes, can we talk about like what are there's a couple of things. So with Godzilla, he like is a protector of the earth, right? Like that's like the core principle of Godzilla, right?
Sure.
But he
I
also-
mean, I've seen 3 of these movies now, and I'm kind of like, I think. But here's the thing: like, he attacks this thing in Pensacola, and no one trusts that Godzilla like knows what he's doing and is like there protecting.
No, it's
the
instantly.
Earth.
He's
It's like,
canceled.
oh, Godzilla's really off the deep end now. Like, really? This is
this
it.
guy.
It's he attacked this like very specific military base, definitely in the wrong. This base, totally, we gotta like go to the mat for it. It's just, I just don't understand what the movies are trying. Like, is there like a theme we're supposed to be like taking away from like the concept of Godzilla at this point? You know,
Yeah,
that's
see,
like,
that's something they've dropped from the originals with these, right?
see,
No, but
I
wasn't
feel
that
like
a
it's
big-
in there?
but
for
no,
the
but
first
wasn't
one
that
and
a-
the
Yeah, wasn't
second
that a
one.
big plot
Yeah.
point in King of the Monsters? Was like trying to suss out his like that he had motives, like.
Well, and he's good. Like he's ultimately
Right.
like the hero
Well,
of the
and Millie Bobby
movies.
Brown's like, no, like he probably knew something. There's something going on, and her dad, who was the most useless character in any of these movies, was
Ugh.
like, "You're just a little kid. Like, get out of here." Like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like she's been right the entire time.
he
you
is the
asshole.
most
Like,
ineffectual character in this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
It's
no,
like
it's
he
terrible.
He's
just
very
looks,
weird. Like he felt very lost in this
He
entire
just
thing.
looks
Like he definitely had a
exacerbated.
place in King of the Monsters, but in this, I kept waiting for him to show up and have something to do, and he
No,
was just kind of like
does
in the
nothing.
back.
Yeah, he was only there for maybe 5 minutes total, wasn't he?
seems,
He just kind of
he
showed
seems
up and
minimally
stood
concerned
around.
about his kid being missing, and then at the end, he's like, "Hey, what's up?
He said, "Oh, my baby."
What's up, grown man who's been hanging out with my daughter? This seems cool and chill."
Oh,
I mean, to be fair, the wife was very happy to see Skarsgård and then see him like prance on screen. Like, you know,
Oh my
there's
God.
that aspect, but I wasn't really sure like what his purpose was,
Skarsgård,
other
like,
than
what
to like
movie does he think he's in? It's so
make
fun. His
my wife insult my masculinity.
Skarsgård. I've never seen anyone in a movie just like picking up a check more than this dude in this movie. Like,
oh, I thought he had some fun.
Yeah, I thought he was all right, and I liked his MacGruber costume.
Nah, I'd agree with you, Eric. Like, I still don't understand. Like, he wrote a fucking book. Like, that's
Yeah.
why they decided that he's gonna lead this mission.
Well, it had something to do with his brother dying
how did
trying
his
to go
brother
through the
die, but he
tunnels at
didn't?
one point.
like
Because wasn't there another Skarsgård in one of the other movies? Like
There
their
has-
dad.
There's a lot of.
There's
stuff.
only like 12 of them.
There's too many. But his dad, I think, was in one of these, wasn't he? Or maybe I'm making that up. Maybe I'm thinking of Thor.
I think you're thinking
Was Thor ever in these?
no,
Yep.
No, but there was a Skarsgård dad in Thor.
no. You know who you're
That's
thinking of, dude? Joe? You're thinking of Loki. From that dude. What's that? Hiddleston
Tom
Oh,
Hiddleston.
yeah.
is in
from
Kong
Little.
Skull Island. He's like a handsome dude.
Maybe. But I think I am actually
John.
picturing the eldest Skarsgård in Thor when I'm like
Yeah.
picturing him on
I
set.
mean,
I mean,
John.
there's legitimately 70 characters in these movies.
John,
like it's
Tom
impossible.
Hiddleston is just handsome. That's objectively true.
no, I didn't say
Okay,
he wasn't.
well, you
but,
made a
know.
face, so
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't confirm or deny.
just- that-
what was
that
Lance
is
Reddick
physics.
doing in this movie? because I was
Who's Lance
drinking
Reddick?
and maybe by the end I like kind of forgot. He's in The Wire. That's what I always like remember him from. He's like the guy from he's like the thin black guy with bald head, and he's in the Chrysler commercials. I don't know.
I could not tell you where he was
Like
in this
he's
movie.
another person who was like in the credits in the beginning, and I was like, oh cool, Lance Reddick is in this. I think he's in one scene.
Yeah, I think he did. He's the guy that kind of looks like Samuel L. Jackson a little bit, right? He had the thick glasses on. I think he showed up once talking to Millie Bobby Brown or something.
Yes, I don't think he looks. I don't know about the look, but yes, I think that's who you're talking about. I don't know. It's where I guess maybe they're trying to build up some of these characters to like bring back, but it was a little disorienting at times. So
I am kind of curious, like where we go from here, because also, like, I don't know if you guys watched it all the way through the credits. Like, there was no post-credit scene, which is weird for these movies. So
I did not.
Yeah.
I'm
Is this
glad
it?
that you can confirm it.
I'll be honest, like I could have used more monster fighting action. I feel like was a strength of King of the Monsters because there were just so many. It was just you had minimal time to blast stupid plot at me, and just there was like 12 fights in that movie, which was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
Mothra, who is the shit.
Yeah, hard agree there. I don't know. Anything else, guys?
I don't know. Whenever I think of Millie Bobby Brown, I feel like, sad because Drake keeps texting her, and I just don't want to think about it.
Wait, is she dating Drake?
No, but
No, they're best friends.
Are they? I
yeah,
don't get the appeal of Drake. And like full disclosure, I've heard like maybe 2 songs, but like I don't like when they call him a rapper. Like, he's not. You're supposed to be afraid of rappers, not like
What?
oh, that's a whole different can of worms.
I feel like Eric can at least get on my side. Like you listen when I was in high school, like I would listen to like rap and
what's
like, be
he's
slightly afraid that like they were talking about me being the bad guy. Like I would never be terrified of Drake.
But Drake is scary because he's grooming this child.
Wow. Yeah, he's frightening in like a
different kind
way.
of scary, Caleb.
Yeah.
I think Joe's point is more like R&B.
Yeah.
Like he's more trying to sex your lady than like be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. Like full disclosure, there's a long list of men that Leslie would take over me, and like Drake, I don't think makes the cut, which
Okay, well that's
also
good.
makes me not respect him at all.
That's good.
We might need this list. We might need.
Hey,
Yeah, I would
literally,
actually.
At least 2 of them are in this movie.
I would very
Do you-
much.
Do you need help? Somebody to talk to?
I would very much like
no,
to see
this
this
is-
list too.
She's made this perfectly clear for years now, like so I've accepted it.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Now I feel like I'm gonna have to Google Millie Bobby Brown and Drake, see what's going on.
How
It's
old
really
is she? Like
She's
I don't know.
20. or
She's-
something?
Started when she was young. This is for a different podcast, but
Maybe
Yeah,
she's
this has
not.
been
I
going
don't-
on for a couple years.
That's a good question, actually.
I mean, if anyone wants to start a like I dislike Drake podcast, like I am 100% on board.
Oh my God, Joe, do you want me to tell
She's
you?
not
when-
even 20.
Joe, do you want me to tell you the year she was born? This is gonna make you
Oh,
feel so
wow.
old. What were you doing, Joe, in 2004?
wow. Get out, dude. Was she really 2004?
She is 17
Yeah.
years old.
And how old is Drake?
I was a senior
He's
in
gotta be,
college.
Too
Her-
old for that.
like when she was younger, like 15. That's what's so gross about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't need more reasons to dislike him.
You know
but-
the funniest thing about Drake is when you Google him, it says Canadian rapper, which is maybe the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Joe, he
Him
was
and
born the
Snow.
year that. Do you remember Mark?
Yeah, I'm familiar with his work.
1986, the year that Drake and Mark was born.
I
that
don't
would
like
make
this.
him-
I don't like.
34 years old.
I don't trust this Drake-icles guy.
Or Mark.
Well, yeah, I've never trusted Mark.
Wow. Or Canadian rappers for that matter. Okay.
Still working on that killer flicks.
Question. Never gonna let it go, Joe. Long after anyone will know what the fuck you're talking about. Question of the hour: would you recommend Godzilla versus Kong, Joe?
I mean, I know we just spent the last hour like goofing on it, but yeah, absolutely, I would 100%.
John,
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes as well.
Caitlin,
Yeah, if you have HBO Max, yeah.
Casey.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say yes. It was a lot of fun. It's 2021. We could all use some real stupid crap in our lives. Just don't tell me it makes sense. Just don't tell me that, and we'll be cool. And it'll be fine, John.
It's
All
fair.
right. That's going to do it for that part of the show. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
He's a man obsessed with having the perfect family.
I'll do anything I can do to keep my family together.
His obsession hides a deadly secret.
Never talk about your past.
We don't have a single lead. The guy is smart. We won't have anything to go on unless he does it again.
All we need is a martyr around here.
Shelley Hack and Terry O'Quinn
You're a very bad girl.
in a thrilling tale of suspense. The Stepfather.
Tuesday at 8 on KST Washington.
Hi, this is Doc Bradley Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies, welcoming you to Bloody Good Horror.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back. John, a quick Google of Hollow Earth theory just turns up a lot. You might want to try that.
Well, I was on the Wikipedia page for a hot sec earlier today, and
It's
yeah,
a
I
thing.
mean, there's some.
It's a thing. Info@bloodygoodhorror.com. Hey, Joe, how's the cameo going? Are there any we should be playing here or what?
I mean, I did one for our lovely fan Jamie and her birthday, which clocked in at over 15 minutes
Oh
the
my
other day.
God.
Yeah, real like crowning achievement.
Is it worth
You gotta
playing
mark
a
your
snippet of
calendar
it?
for these Joe cameos. It's
Yeah.
like kind of
Is it
blackout
worth-
time.
We're knocking out like a couple a week at least. Like
Is it
they're-
worth
they're still
playing a
going
snippet
strong.
of it?
I wouldn't.
Okay. Could you find one of the last few for me? I'll pull it up while you're doing tweets.
No, I cannot search through things while I'm doing tweets. I
No,
think
I'm saying
we've all.
I know, but we're gonna do fan mail right now.
I think
whatever.
we've made
I'll
it
look.
perfectly clear that I can't multitask.
I'll look. Info@bloodygoodhorror.com. This one, the subject is this is from Caitlin and Kissimmee. Subject is to Joe. I'm sure he knows this as the president and manager of Joey King, but she's on the new season of Nailed It on Netflix,
Yes.
the 4th episode.
Yeah, the wife and I and Mia, my 9-year-old, like love that show. We're actually 3 episodes deep and hoping to get to the King episode this weekend. But yeah, big fan. I love Nicole Byer. She makes me so happy. Like everything she does is great.
She's delightful, but I discover that I do not take joy in watching people do things badly. I want to see them I don't want to see food shows where people do it bad. I want to see people do it good. I'm more of a traditional food show person, is what that show taught me.
Yeah, it's a little more playful. Like I think it's very fun watching it with my 9-year-old because she finds it hilarious, like how bad they do. Like
I'm just a Great British Baking Show kind of guy, Joe.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a whole different level.
One more from Caitlin. Is there a movie you keep forgetting you've watched, good or bad? Somebody
couldn't
somebody
tell you if I
at some
forgot.
point sent us, like, one of our fans has kept a very extensive what's that? I'm going blank. What's that movie site where you can like check off what you watched?
Letterbox.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a
We already talked about it.
there's a letterboxed list where somebody has done every single movie we've done, and then you can look at it in this view where you're just swiping and it's all covers. I did not remember like
Yeah.
40% of these movies, maybe. Like I have serious questions about that I've seen these movies.
Yeah,
It was
sometimes
actually-
I scroll through like our doc of like all the movies we've done, and I'm like,
Yeah,
couldn't tell
it
you. a
actually
goddamn
filled
thing.
me with existential dread. The amount of these movies that I did whole cloth
Yeah.
did not remember.
I have watched Capturing the Freedmans 3 times and forgotten that I have watched it and gotten like 20 minutes in and gotten super depressed and then also realized like, oh, I've watched this before.
I don't know. I have pretty good movie memory. Like I won't always remember every detail, but I can usually remember that I've seen something and I can
Yeah.
recall like a scene or two of almost everything. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of any specifics, but I have had times on Netflix where or something like that, a streaming service, I'm clicking around looking for something to kill time with and start a movie. It's like, wait a minute, I think I have saw that.
I mean, the one caveat is like if I've had a lot to drink,
Yeah.
which happens occasionally, I will misremember things.
Okay, I would like you to look at this list, John, and just go through it and just tell me one thing about each of these movies, and then we'll see how good your memory is.
All right. Wait, you want to just like spend some time right now?
Not right
or, like,
now. No, I'm just saying.
I mean, you pick a movie at random. I'm actually curious. And
Hey,
keep
you
in
got-
mind, I didn't see all of them because I wasn't on every show. But I'll tell you if I was on or not.
He threw down the gauntlet and put down some caveat.
Please. We should go to the next question though.
Oh,
While
I
Eric's
got it
doing
right
this,
here.
because he will stare at this list for the next like 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Hey, John, can you tell me about Hitman?
I did not see it, but it's the video game movie. That's
You guys did Hitman for this show?
We did.
way back. That was like first 50 episodes, I would guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I did not watch that one.
Do this list. I'm gonna find a movie that you don't remember.
All right,
John.
keep going. Well,
That's
are
it
we
for
ready
emails.
Joe?
info@bloodygoodhorror.com. What do we got on Twitter, Joe?
Sorry, I started going through our Google Doc and trying to pick one too. But we are on Twitter at BG Horror. Every week you can send in your question with the Ask BGH tag. I will hate your guts if you don't include the tag. Send a question, a comment, whatever you want to do. First up from my number one fan, that's Deus Ex Manatee, my friend Renee. Which movie monster should they mechanize next? I think Mecha Wolfman might be fun.
I
I
feel
do
like the giant mecha is
Yeah,
key. Though.
you got to
It's
go
kinda
big, right?
I will say that I liked. It's not. I don't know. It's better when Mechagodzilla goes rogue. Like it's really not that intriguing to me until he goes rogue. Like they need to just start inventing them like with.
But he's
fully
only
sentient.
on rogue for like
a minute. Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wait, we lost control of him already. Like, it was-
Hey,
so-
John, could you please tell me the plot of Tokyo Gore, please?
Oh,
Well, I mean, I remember seeing it. Can I tell you the plot? I don't think I could have told you the plot immediately after we watched it.
All right. How about?
Um,
Do you remember Legion?
yeah. So Legion, I think, is a comic book movie.
Okay, fine. Shut up, John.
It's all right. I mean,
wait, what about this one, John? Cloverfield? Cloverfell?
Cloverfell.
I'm not sure how it's pronounced.
is Legion the one where he's an angel?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
Paul
there.
Vision.
Paul Bettany. Yeah.
What about The Tripper? I don't know what the hell that is. But
The
apparently
Tripper,
you
That
are
is, that is a slasher movie made by
Yeah.
David Arquette in which the killer goes to a hippie festival and kills people wearing a Ronald Reagan mask.
Yes.
And I was drinking a lot when I watched that, so like I only.
Do you
tangent
mean like at the
remember that.
time you watched it or just in life?
No. At the time I was watching it, because it was one of those movies where I was like, I was not interested in watching it, so I was like, I gotta drink a lot to get through this. So. But yeah.
All right. Next up from our buddy Adam, that's attorney at Space. One will cholesterol, cake versus pie.
Cake.
Pie.
I go pie. Yeah.
Cake.
I feel like Eric and I have a lot of similarities in our verses world.
I just like pie, man. I like fruit.
Yeah.
It's good.
Agreed.
Or whatever. Or go chocolate or peanut butter.
Hair.
It's the capital
next up
region
from-
upbringing. I think it's you come
Yeah.
from the same stock.
Pie country. Our good friend Erica, Cheesy Whiz. Can we have a quick sidebar about the Bone Tomahawk charging station? It felt not geologically correct.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions about Hollow Earth that I have, including the charging station.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what the charging purpose was either, because it's just an axe.
You know
like,
what's a
hit
really
them.
funny visual? Let's say that the throne is there for anybody, right? Try to picture Godzilla getting into that throne with his little stumpy legs.
The tail.
He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
He'd
do
have
it.
to sit sideways.
Side saddle.
Like a lady.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't be able to pick up the axe, right?
Just be like,
His mouth, I guess.
I would have liked
doesn't
him
work.
to scream like "I am Turak" when King Kong picked up that thing. All right, our friend Skizbot. Would you rather fight off a big-ass gorilla-sized lizard or a normal gorilla-sized gorilla? Give me lizard.
A
any day.
gorilla-sized lizard.
A gorilla-sized gorilla or a gorilla-sized lizard. So I guess both the same size.
A gorilla-sized lizard sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like me and a gorilla-sized gorilla would probably connect on some
You
level.
guys
and
would be
be okay.
signing to each other.
Square up.
Okay, John, I got one. Dream House.
Oh.
So there's
that-
multiple dream houses, I
Okay.
believe.
Mm.
There's the one that's set in Hong Kong where it's about a woman who's like trying to rent her or buy her, dream house. And then there's the one that has Daniel
Bond.
Craig in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're both the one in Hong Kong was actually decent. The other one is terrible.
Monster Brawl.
I did not watch Monster Brawl.
That was like unwatchable.
Is that I don't think I was on that show, but was it isn't that like not what's his
Nobody. There was nobody you would remember.
No, the director. Was that maybe I'm thinking what's the Super Beasto? I'm thinking of that
Rob Zombie?
yeah, he wasn't involved. Okay.
No, that was not.
I got it. The Apparition.
Okay, this is good. This is a good one.
This is where it's at. These like that 10-year period where it was
Yeah.
just generic supernatural movies with the worst, most generic titles ever. I'm gonna
So
have
I
to click
bel-
on his page to even see who was in it or what it's about.
No, well, so I believe the Apparition has it has a poster with like a hand on it. It's like a hand like a ghost hand or like a made out of mist. I do not. I'll be honest.
There
I
is a
do not-
hand over an actress's face. That's
Oh.
I'm fairly impressed by that. Do you? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, this is the one I was thinking of. Can you tell
I-
me anything about this movie?
I could probably tell you the year better than I could tell you anything
Okay,
about
do
it.
it.
Honestly,
This is
is it 2010?
riveting.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay,
alright.
you know why this movie is? It's Sebastian Stan is in this movie, John. Your doppelganger.
Yeah.
You stand him.
It's my boy.
Next up from Shine Master 9000. Wake me up when King Kong and Godzilla have a baby.
Yeah, no shit.
Agreed. Facilitoro. Where are these giant monsters pooping?
I thought the same thing. I had a similar question.
Well, they don't eat. We don't see him eat. Well, I guess Kong eats fish at a certain
Didn't
point.
He
Arthur-
brushes his teeth. We see him. Doesn't he brush his teeth with a? Or no, that he strips the tree to throw into the. I thought he was brushing his teeth for a second, but he does take a shower in the waterfall.
This can't be right. Did we review a movie called Crime Wave?
Yes,
What the hell is
that was
Crime
a.
Wave?
It is a
throwback,
Sam
isn't it?
Raimi movie. It was
Yeah,
one of my
I
staff
actually
picks.
don't think I watched that one either, but
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Carry on, Joe.
No, this is good. Erie, Arizona. Similar to Stay Puft, which harmless product mascot would do the most damage if they were kaiju?
Did you guys see that Ghostbusters clip today?
Oof. Yeah, I agree. I saw your comment. And it was literally the first thing I thought when I saw it too. Like it looks like a Super Bowl ad of some
It's not
sort.
like a clip from a movie where like a story's happening. Like
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
because the trailer made it look like this really serious, like emotional, nostalgic, like Ghostbusters thing, and I'm like, I don't know. This clip is not from the movie that trailer was for, so I'm pretty confused.
Does anyone have an answer to this question?
I mean, the Jolly Green Giant, like he's terrifying.
Yeah. Some of those cereal guys got to be
Yeah.
dangerous. The Trix Rabbit.
Yeah, that
I
guy's
feel like
fucking
any of them,
nuts.
you make them big enough. It's like
Yeah.
basically once something is kaiju size, it's cities are getting destroyed. That's what I've learned from these movies. So
from Ryan Tihan. Sleek and scary or warm and fuzzy? Which monster wins in the Battle of the Taints? Which gooch would you rather see blocking out the sun above your home?
Is this C.O.W. Flanagan?
No.
Wow.
What's a gooch?
You know why? I should have known there was no spelling errors.
It involves your taint.
Do tell.
I'm just shocked that Joe asked that question.
What's
They're
a
the same
gooch?
thing, Joe. It's just two
Yeah.
words for the same
I've
thing.
never heard gooch.
Oh, I have.
There's a place near me called Goochland, which is always a hoot.
Well, apparently there's a place near all of us called
I don't
Goochland.
think I like either one.
My nickname was the Gooch for a long time.
I don't know how to answer this one then. But speaking of, next up from John's favorite
Correction,
listeners,
Casey, your nickname is the Gooch again.
Yeah.
Oh, Casey.
From COW Flanagan, and he included a picture. I guess Carl's Jr. has a Godzilla versus Kong like promo going. Yo, are Godzilla and Kong virgins, or is it like a nature in metal type deal? And Kong is making whoopee to Mega Funa on Skull Island, and Godzilla is cleaving to whales or something. Hashtag
Joe, that's mega.
Kingdom.
That's megafauna. That's the name for like giant animals.
That's a great question.
That's the best COW Flanagan.
Who's making these kaiju babies? It's a great question.
It's like the
they
first
just-
time I think we've gotten like a legitimate question from him.
It's the only
So.
thing that the answer might make less sense than Hollow Earth, honestly.
Yeah.
No, I think they're virgins. I think it's very straight up.
Do you think they, pleasure themselves, John?
Now, where do you think the anger comes
During
from?
adolescence, for sure. So,
John, Sightseers?
Oh, Sightseers is a great movie. That's
I
a
remember that
British
one, yeah.
black comedy.
I remember literally nothing about
It's
it.
about like a couple
great
that's like
flick.
RVing and they like
Yeah.
start killing people. I legit
Like,
recommend that.
What
movie
is
to people.
Grabbers? Like what? I did not watch these movies.
Grabbers was like a monster movie.
That
Oh,
was an Irish
that one.
movie
Okay,
about
never
Irish
mind.
on the coast.
Grabbers.
I thought we
okay.
just talked about it a couple of weeks. Or you know what? No. Whitney sent in a cameo request because her and her friends watched it on
funny.
like last Tuesday or so.
Yeah, once I looked at it, I remembered.
All right. Last but not least, on Twitter from Chris Aleonte, are any of you fans of the classic Godzilla movies? And if so, what's the best one?
No.
I'm a fan, but I couldn't tell you enough which one is better.
I always loved Kong versus Godzilla when I was a kid. Like I would definitely put that up there. And what I couldn't tell you the names, but like definitely the one with Mothra when the two little fairies were there singing their little songs. Like warmed my heart.
Whenever I see clips of like the more modern ones where they're going back to the suit stuff and then they look kind of campy and crazy. Whenever I see clips of the modern ones, I'm like pretty intrigued, but I've never really seen one.
The old, like, I think, what was it? There was like Godzilla 2000 or something.
Yeah, like
which,
that
like
kind
they
of vibe.
released in theaters. It was a ton of fun. I loved it. Big fan. All right, over on Instagram, we are on that platform at Bloody Good Horror. Every Tuesday we post up. You can send in questions, and I'll make dumb comments, and then we'll talk about it on the show. First up, though, from our listener who refuses to use the forum and also made Eric buy that shirt. For John, heard any good theme songs lately? Also, I legit thought I came up with a Hollow Earth theory in 2002 when I wrote 4 chapters of a dystopian young adult novel. The internet very quickly corrected me. The novel remains unfinished.
Should have Googled that first before you started writing.
So, John, I'm not sure what this is reference to, but John, heard any good theme songs lately?
Yeah. I know what it's reference to. I don't know if am I allowed to answer the question. I guess is like the main. I
guess,
guess that
yeah.
question.
I think it'd be great to answer the question.
Yeah,
We can talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
What do you
the
like?
theme song, I guess it's finished, right? It's a final version for Caitlin's upcoming podcast coming soon. TBD release date, but it has a theme song and it's quite good.
The theme song is so good.
Very fun.
Yeah.
I chuckled.
Caitlin from Kissimmee? She's one of my favorite listeners. Not aware that she had a podcast, though.
More details very soon. It's our very first BGH presents. It's pretty exciting. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, look at that. Is it about Drake and how much he sucks? Because I'm
It
into
is now.
There's a whole
Ew.
Drake segment, I think.
I really want Joe on my podcast to talk about periods. I'm
100%. I mean, honestly, I got a 9-year-old, and like I'm looking down the barrel of that.
We've been having a great time. Elizabeth has been on about half the episodes so far, and she's just been killing it, and we've been having a good time. I've been researching like a maniac.
Just had Cece on last night.
Had Cece
Can't
on
even get
last
Cece
night.
on this show, but she's on Caitlin's show.
She's got her priorities.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
We get
Cece
it.
has a baby.
I mean, From the sound of things, I don't blame her.
John, The Nightmare.
The Nightmare is that documentary by what's his name?
Dude, okay, can you send me whatever your vitamin regimen is just so I can get on it? Because, like,
No,
I'm
but
really
what's the guy's name?
impressed.
Eric, I'm shocked you don't remember The Nightmare. You love that movie because it's about people who
Sleep
have
paralysis.
like night terrors.
Yeah, but if the roles reversed and you just said The Nightmare, I would have been like, I don't know.
Oh, hey, all right.
Was that the one? But it was also like half movie and like half documentary.
Yeah, that's like his thing. He has a new one that was just at what's it called? Sundance,
Is
I
it
think.
Capturing the Freedmans? Because I've been meaning to check that out. I don't think I've ever seen it. That's a callback, John. If this was my stand-up special, I would walk out on that one.
Yeah. No, that was good.
All right, let's bang through these other ones. First up, and this is for everyone, is Jen Shaw guilty? John, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I assume because you were very upset about it. So
Suzanne, does she have any thoughts? Have you guys talked about it?
I don't know that I've like probed on it, but I'm assuming she's like anti. So
It's very interesting. I would definitely suggest you look into it, and I 100% think she is. Next up, how's the cameo hustle going? And I replied, it's surprisingly well. Like we're getting in like 2 or 3 of these a week at least. So you know,
we got to raise prices, Joe. As your business manager, I'm just telling you, maybe we got to raise them.
People will pay.
It goes
Honestly,
like to
John,
0. He raises it $1, it goes to 0 requests a week. It's just like
honestly, John, I'm thinking of dropping it because like it's my favorite thing in the world to do. Like just rant for 7 or 8 minutes. Like I just hit record and it just goes, and then I look and I'm like, wow, we're like 9 minutes.
It's the only reason Joe's still doing the show, if we're honest.
Yeah, love it. I have contemplated like, can I quit the show but still do like the cameos? Like,
I'm sure that I will know the day that calculation flips because I'll get the resignation letter.
No, I'll announce it on Cameo. Like someone will get a random request and I'll be like, yeah, whatever. Happy birthday. Anyway.
Hey, John.
With the upcoming,
sorry, really quick, Helen back.
Helen back. Was that the cartoon?
Joe, this is the John game.
Yeah, but I didn't see that though.
I thought you said Joe.
I know what the movie is
like
now that Joe said
it's
that.
like this claymation thing. I
Claymation,
never
right?
in a million years would remember that.
With the other D-bag in there, right? Isn't from the Silicon Valley?
Oh yeah. What's his face? Yes.
T.J. Miller?
Yeah.
John Morgan.
Oh, Morgan is the like sci-fi dystopian joint where she's like
This was supposed to be a funny bit where you didn't remember stuff, and instead I just feel really concerned about my own memory. This did not go at all the way I planned.
I mean,
Eric, I remember a lot of movies. But
So I picked these movies out specifically because if you just given those titles to me, nothing. I saw the poster for Morgan and I'm like, yeah, I remember that movie.
If there's one thing I've learned from like 12 years of email chains with you, like your memory is not great.
What the fuck? Yeah. I just thought it was a bit, but I think you might be right, Joe.
All bits have a grain of truth in there.
Do you take like an omega-3 in the morning, John? What do you like, a ginkgo biloba kind of thing?
A yogurt in the morning.
Look,
I think that's good for the biome.
I don't eat dairy. Maybe that's my problem.
What is it, Caitlin? Do you know what I need to be doing, or
do you know
what
I
Eric
should be
needs to
doing?
Well, you went to Duke, and Eric's brain wasn't conditioned.
I didn't go to Duke. That's right. I can't.
figured it was a Samson type thing, and all
Here's
of his
why I don't
memories
like
in
that answer,
hair.
though, Caitlin. I can't do anything about the fact that I didn't go to I didn't have parents who went to Duke, so I'm not
Neither did I.
Okay, John. We know your legacy.
With the upcoming Godzilla versus Kong episode, what are your favorite monster movies?
Yes.
Good question.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah. I mean, like my original favorite, like I loved Creature from the Black Lagoon. Like we've talked about that before. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'd go Host as well.
Does The Thing count? I mean, that's like one of my all-time faves. I don't know. It's sort of
It's
a
an
monster,
alien
right?
monster, right?
Yeah.
It just happens to move around a lot.
Also Alien.
I don't actually know that I have an answer. It's not my favorite genre.
Any good spring break memories?
I always came home to work on spring break. It was sad.
The only thing I ever did on spring break was one time I got my wisdom teeth out.
Nice.
Sweet.
And then I watched
Does
movies
sound fun.
on Vicodin all week. That's about it.
I mean, in high school, I remember my senior year, we drove down to Myrtle Beach. Like, that was a blast. It
Yeah.
was like a ridiculously long drive, but
Oh, I went to Texas once to visit a friend's brother who had like a house. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think my
It's like
first
a
2
random
years of
house in
college.
Texas. Like, did he just like live in Texas?
Yeah. Well, I was like, yeah, but you could like do drinking and stuff there, John. Like, we
Do
weren't just
drinking.
like,
dude, drinking.
yeah.
Yeah, my first 2 years of college, spring break was third shift at Kmart.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't go to Texas. All my exes live there, Caitlin. That's why I remain in Tennessee. I'm late, but did you catch the new episode of Creep Show? Fun, eh?
I
Not yet.
did. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I was pretty disappointed in the first season of Creepshow. I thought it was like, it's just.
Oh, we all remember.
I don't like anthology shows in general, and there was nothing Creepshowy about it, in my opinion. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, they're just an excuse to make like kind of crappy short movies and then stick them together and like put a wraparound on it. The first story in this new episode was kind of underwhelming, but there's a real insane vibe in the second story that I liked a lot. It's about like a like local PBS kind of station where there's like in the 70s where a bunch of people get possessed by like an evil book that gets examined on like a Antiques Roadshow kind of a show, and then everybody in the studio starts getting possessed. But there's a Bob Ross character, but he ends up snapping and like killing all the. It's pretty good. Like he's like a Vietnam vet or something. So it's goofy. So I was about 50-50 on it, but it was promising, I thought, compared to last year.
That does sound great. So post-pandemic, what percentage of your family are you avoiding the rest of your life?
Immediate family, none. Outer family, like 80 to 85%.
Yeah, same ones I always avoided before.
Yeah, not much is really going to change.
I have like a million cousins, and I like all but like one or two of them. So.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that have shown their asses to me during this pandemic. So
Like shown their actual asses to you, or
no, like in a theoretical
What about
way.
their Gucci?
In a like the depths of their ignorance has become in full view.
John couldn't even get it out before.
I didn't even hear what he said.
Next, why did they nerf Kong in the Godzilla versus Kong movie? I don't know what that means either. Nerf? They
Nerf.
nerfed
That's
him?
a video game
It's
term
a
for like
video game
weakening, like a weapon. Like
I would say they did the
I
opposite.
feel like they
made
had
it
to beef
fucking
him up
huge.
just to make it fair. Yeah.
Who you got in a fight, Freddy or Candyman? I'd go Candyman.
Candyman, I think.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Mostly probably for Casey and I. We're all getting up there in age. Are you excited or scared for the prostate exams?
Who's excited?
Yeah, I'm not. I couldn't say I'm excited about it, but I'm not like fearful of it.
Yeah,
Have
I'm
you
almost...
not had one, Casey? I had my first one this year.
No, I have
how old
not
are you,
had one
Joe?
yet. Nobody's recommended it.
How old are you, Joe?
Oh, my
43. But I also have a history in my
Yes,
family.
I do
so-
too.
Yeah.
I think at 40 I got to start, so it means I got about a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
I think the last time I told, because I don't have any history in the family with those kind of problems, and they said probably around 50.
Not an issue for me, but my dad and my brother see the same doctor, and we always joke about how huge. And
Wait, what? Say that again.
yeah, like when you shake his hand, it's like his hand is like a bear paw coming around him. Yeah, you should feel his fingers up your fucking asshole.
It's very like one. I was not expecting it. I didn't go in there prepared to have
What?
this.
What do you mean?
So, you know,
there's a whole regimen you got to do before you do it, dude. They don't just spring that. What
No,
kind
they
of
do.
doctor are you
They do,
going to,
Eric.
buddy?
This was
You're
a new
thinking of a
doctor.
colonoscopy.
That's what I
Eric.
thought we were
Yeah.
talking about.
No, this
no.
is just the prostate exam. This is just they
Oh.
shove
It's
a finger up
the
your ass. and-
finger salute.
Oh God, no!
Yeah.
I've never had that happen. Oh,
Yeah. So I wasn't expecting it, and so this was a new doctor. He's like, yeah, like you have a history in your family. Like they should have been doing this for a few years.
that's
now.
not the
like,
history I have. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. I mean, it's fine. It's you should do it. It's,
You could say no, Joe. You could just take your chances.
Yeah, but what if I have prostate cancer? Like,
I'd rather know.
Yeah, exactly.
What if it's contagious and he just gave it to you?
I'm not sure how that works. That's how it
Let's
works.
That's
about
what
flat Earth
that's
music
how
in
the
here.
writers of Kong versus Godzilla would write that plot line.
Man, that sounds like the kind of thing that a guy wearing a camo shirt would say. All right, a few more here. Face Off 2, Cage versus Travolta. Should we be worried or excited?
Wait,
I
what?
mean,
It's like a real thing.
That's
I guess
gotta
so.
be batshit
Why
crazy.
do people give Travolta work at this point? Like, what
Yeah, I know.
is the?
I've heard they're making a second one. I haven't heard anything about Cage and Travolta being involved.
I mean, I do like
and I
train
presume
wrecks.
like John Woo is involved. Like that's
Yes.
the hero of the first.
I don't know. What was the
one,
last thing John Woo did that was like big?
right? He could be dead. Like I don't know. But,
Oh, jeez, John.
yeah, I'm just saying. Like is John Woo alive? But I'm checking now. But
I think
I
he
like a
is.
lot of his movies.
I feel like we would have heard about that.
Probably. Yeah, he's alive. 74.
Yeah, I don't. I have no
Yeah,
desire.
you're
to
not
see
making the
either
best
one of
movies
those
of your
people in
career at
movies anymore.
70. At 74, John, if somebody comes along and they're like, "You want to work with Travolta and Cage again?" You're like, "Sure." How much money?
I think you're just like fuck off.
Yeah.
Been down that road.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
All right, two more here. Next holiday, Cinco de Mayo. Favorite Mexican horror film?
Ooh.
I mean,
was
I
that
forget-
movie Monsters? Was that Mexican?
But
They
it
go
took
to
place
Mexico,
in
right,
Mexico.
right.
Yeah.
yeah. There's the one about the kids.
Well,
Is it called Come
the
and Play or something? Or
tigers.
Come
or-
Out?
Oh, yeah, that was good. And then there's Tigers Aren't
Are Not
Afraid of.
Afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my answer was, but
Was the Eyes of My Mother? Is that Mexican? It's in Spanish, but I don't think I can't remember what. It might have been. It might have been like from.
We're
Spain.
doing that on my podcast next week, John.
Well, so what nationality is it? Do you know?
I don't know.
Have you seen it?
No, this is the one on my list that I haven't seen yet, and I've heard it's heavy. So
Yeah. It's good. I mean, I like that movie, but it's great.
I'll get your picture later.
Okay.
yeah, Tigers Are Not Afraid. I think that was like the big one. We all loved that. I don't remember what my answer was though, but I remember thinking that's a good answer. All right, last but certainly not least. Is Dust Till Dawn? Is that considered?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I couldn't think of the. I was blanking on the name.
No,
That took place in Mexico.
Tarantino made that movie. Or
Oh,
no, Robert Rodriguez. did, right?
Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. Yeah, my Santa Sangre. That was mine.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Which is great.
What was that thing Joe made us watch where the dudes in the skeleton costumes ride horses?
Oh, that was Tombs of the Blind Dead.
Yeah.
That is Italian, if I remember correctly.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And awesome. All right, last but not least, and this one I'll try and get through it without getting choked up. Can we stop, drop, shut them down, and open up shop?
Yeah, what happened?
What's everyone's favorite DMX song?
Is he still? He's like in a coma or something. Like he's not doing.
He's
good?
not doing great. So yeah, apparently he OD'd, and now is pretty much like in a vegetable state.
I didn't read. I read that he had a heart attack. Was it?
It was
drug related?
The heart attack I guess was brought on by the OD.
I like that stop drop song. I also really like him on that Roland remix, Joe, that I'm literally always talking about. That Limp Bizkit remix.
Have you guys seen the movie? I mean, he's probably made a bunch of movies, but there was a movie I saw with him in the theater called like Never Die Alone. Is that what it was called?
There was that, and then I think there was Romeo Must Die, or something like that.
I remember
with,
Romeo Must Die.
Aaliyah was in there.
Yeah,
and legit, this isn't even sarcasm, but the movie Belly is amazing. I am a giant fan of that movie that he's in. DMX, Nas, T-Boz, a handful of others. Like, big recommend. I love DMX. Like his first like 3 or 4 albums, huge fan. I kind of fell off in some of his later stuff, but big fan. And it makes me very sad that he's going through this. So,
yeah. Already up.
Exactly. That's it for questions. I don't think anybody really answered, but how do you pick one? All right. That's it. We're done.
Love it. I went through all the movies we've ever reviewed, John, and that was pretty much all I could find that I thought you wouldn't remember.
Oh, here is the Roland Urban Assault Vehicle, Limp Bizkit.
Dude.
I think Redman is in there. I was just looking through.
Yeah, it's
his,
on my gym playlist.
Spotify.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah. Oh, play the fucking track, Fred.
Yeah.
Opens up with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that one for sure.
Nice. That's gonna do it for Godzilla versus Kong. Not sure what we're doing next week, but we'll let you know. Don't forget you can get a live stream of this show, back episodes, and access to Slack at patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. You could be taking in all of Joe's outfit right now and Schnarz's hair. It's really, it's just a feast for the eyes.
Tops.
Don't forget Joe's on Cameo. Search Bloody Good Horror. We're on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Oh, check out my music, John, on Spotify. Search Hi-Fi HY-FY for my spooky synthwave music. Check it out. That's gonna do it for BGH. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll talk to you next week.
See you.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.